Hi.
Hi there.
So, well, I'm sorry. First, I want to say thank you. I've been watching you for a long time,
Yeah.
and you've helped me so much. So, I feel like I've been working on myself and feeling from my heart and living like you've taught me. And it's it's hard. Like I know that shouldn't sound shocking. Of course, it's hard. That's why we're here, right? But sometimes I feel like it's the only thing I can do. Like I don't know how to do that and put so much effort into it, and then I have to do regular life too. Like I have to go to work and I have to does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. And I think you don't have to do both. I think you might have to slowly absolve yourself of the situation that you're in or just fully accept it. But I think, for me, there is only the internal world. To me, there is no external world.
Oh my goodness. And
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh, but
But you have to keep in
you know
mind,
what? But it's scary
what is it?
for some reason. I said when you say that, I feel it, but it's scary for some reason.
It's gradual. It's like I say it like it's so easy, but it's years of kind of slipping out of these knots, right? It's like you're constantly untangling yourself. um you know what I mean? So I know it's like I'm making it sound easy. It's not easy. It's still not easy. There's always something that you're needing to disentangle yourself from. But I
And it's
think
always gonna be, right? Like it's always gonna keep being
it's
like
gonna be
that.
yeah, in a way, it like the game gets more sophisticated. So it's
Um,
not really like you have drama in your life anymore, you have money problems anymore. It's not like that. It's more like it's an internal dialogue with the nuances. Like for instance, it might be that you're walking too fast. It might be that that you're talking too fast. It might be that that you're wanting to interrupt someone. It's very subtle, so the game becomes more sophisticated. But in terms of like money, worldly things, there's no more problem there. I think what happens is you do get to a place where you have to face the inevitable, which is your death or getting older. I think that's a really tough one. Dying is easy. Getting older is difficult, and like having to think about what could happen to you. So I think it starts to become a lot more existential, which in a way is more scary because you're moving into higher levels. When you go into higher levels, really what that means is you're going deeper into your body and into the fears. Higher, deeper, deeper, higher, so you're constantly going deeper into the body. And so it does get it in terms of challenge, it almost gets a little more challenging because now there is no barrier like a person or money or a house. It's like you and you. There is nothing standing between you and you. Like when you have problems with people, it's like, oh my God, that person's treating me horribly. You're still focused on something outside of you, which has to do with you, but it's like a buffer. And when you start to really release this world, then it really becomes just you're stripped naked and you're having to face everything that comes up for you. There's no more person you can talk about. There's no more thing there's no more distraction. It's just you and you.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I feel that 100%. But that's exactly what I'm saying. I feel that now. That's the part that I feel like is draining to me. But it feels so good when I just let it
yeah.
happen. It it's just that I don't have a life where I can just do that every day, but I feel like my body needs it.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling because I have children, I have a house. Like I've been in poverty probably my entire life. But, but I get by
Hmm.
and situations came and things, and I'm okay. But I feel like it's like just a struggle all the time.
Well, it is because if you think about being aware, if I'm aware, then I'm aware of so much information happening simultaneously, right?
Yeah.
So awareness, you can think of awareness as like you have to learn how to get comfortable being aware of so much at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah, but then there comes a point where you kind of like melt into that ocean, you kind of melt into it. Like it's like you melt into it and you're just one with it. You're not you're
And that's
aware of what's yeah, you're aware of what's going on, but the the energy that you're connecting to, the awareness that you're connecting to, it becomes your oxygen. So like you need it in order to continue. Like
oh,
it
that sounds
changes.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, oh wow. Thank you
Yeah. It
so much.
Yeah, that's why I tell people like get outside as much as you can, go on walks as much as you can, because the second you step out, you can feel magic around you. When you really do this work long enough, you can feel almost like these things flying around you, like this energy flying around you. So I think, yeah, it's not easy. I mean, there's a reason why there weren't many Buddhas and many Jesuses, is because this is
Oh,
really not easy. It's not supposed to be easy.
whew, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
I I feel all that all the time, and I don't have much other human beings around me who get it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh man, thank you.
you're welcome. I think we can be aware whether we're at a job or whether we're in our car or whether we're moving our bodies or it's so just look at it like that. Don't try not to separate them. Um,
Okay.
try
Yeah,
not to
okay.
separate them. Like think of it more as like I am choosing to follow the right path. I'm choosing to follow the internal path. And that just leads you to places. It leads you to things. It just physically, it just leads you to what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just got to keep doing it. It just right, like it's like I'm just trying to understand. Like it's like you talk about it's a progression and it's levels. So it's like the more that I do it, easier it gets. It's like practice.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it gets easier. Honestly, I wouldn't. I would say that you're always going to higher heights, and so it
Wait, it gets.
gets
I'm sorry.
in a way gets more difficult because a lot of people can't possibly understand what you're going through. So if anything, it gets more isolating because now, doctors or whoever are giving you advice that is not true. Like, so it gets, in a way, becomes more isolating from that perspective. But I kind of look at it as like, we eventually get squeezed out of this body. We eventually, because we're no longer a match to it. We're not a match to this world. So we eventually just get squeezed, kind of like a blackhead or like a pimple.
Yeah.
It's like we get squeezed out of the body. That's how I look at it.
Wow.
Yeah. But I think that you get to a place, just for me anyway, I got to a place where I can't go backwards, so it's like a point of no return. If I'll give you an example that I've used recently. Like I've been opening up my calls every single day. I don't book things in advance. I decided to do that about 8 years ago because I really wanted to follow the truth, my truth. So I knew that I could only open up calls daily, right? If let's say I stopped booking all of a sudden, which thank God I'm good, like I book every day, but if I stopped booking, I wouldn't be able to go back to opening them a week ahead because I know that that's not true. I know
Mm-hmm.
that's not true. That's not my truth. So instead, I would take it as a sign that it's time to rest. I would take it as a sign that things might be changing soon and get ready for that and don't be attached. You see what I'm saying? So when you're firmly instilled in this truth, you can't betray yourself anymore. Even if a thought comes up like, "Oh my God, I didn't book today," or I may not book tomorrow," you don't believe it anymore. You just know it doesn't matter because maybe this is the universe nudging me to evolve or to move into a new direction. So you're just unable to betray yourself anymore.
Whew, yeah.
So it's not, you're not playing two sides, you're only playing one side. You're only doing one thing. You're committed to the truth. Um, the awareness that's all around us, it's, if we lag too much, if we're too behind, that's when things in our life start to blow up, because we're like being forced to evolve. Why? Because if we don't evolve, we're going to suffer more. So a lot of times when bad things happen to us, it's actually a good thing, because if you had stayed there, you would have suffered more. But the universe is designed to always keep us in line. So typically, when we're not up to par with where we're supposed to be,
Yeah.
there's wiggle room. It's not super strict, but there comes a point where it's time to update your system. And if you don't update the system, it's going to keep glitching. So that's why a lot of people have trouble in their marriages and in their relationships or with money, whatever, is because they're not keeping up to date with their path, with the destiny that was created for them.
So it's like every time I know that a situation isn't for me and I stuff that because for whatever, it's just a trigger thing that I do because you understand, right? I stuff it, then I feel disgusting. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, I I'm gonna follow my heart. And I, you know, but it's like I have to try so hard to remind myself. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm
Mhm.
so used to feeling like I feel sick. What do you mean? I've been feeling nauseous and disgusting probably my entire life.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like it's a normal thing to me. Like I never felt peaceful before, but I do now.
Yeah.
And it's not all the time, but I felt it and I know it's there.
Yeah. That's normal. It can't always be like blissful and peaceful, you know?
Right.
I think we're humans, so we have to take time to like integrate and rest. And it's like a dog, it needs to nap a lot. We're not at the level, we're not evolved. And that's why I was saying like it is a progression, because sometimes our body is still holding trauma, and if we receive too much light, it can actually hurt
Oh,
us. So
oh yeah.
we have to learn how to parent ourselves, and to like, if I meditate 2 hours, I'm going to be fried because I have so much energy. Like I can receive a lot of energy from the universe. So I have to know 45 minutes is my cutoff time, for example. And then I have to reground myself, because if I don't, and then I watch TV at night, I'm going to feel too much electricity in my brain. So you have to learn how to kind of juggle your physical body, the spiritual side, the emotional side. You have to learn how to juggle it all. It's a dance. It really is a dance.
But that's that makes so much sense because then you just use all those tools that you were already doing just to dance with myself.
Yeah. Like
Oh, that
you have to know when to be dumb. You have to know when to be flat. You have to know when to turn it up a little bit. You have to know when to be vulnerable. You have to know when you're holding on to pain. You have to know these things. So you have to learn. I call it like stick shift. Like
yeah.
the spiritual journey is like driving stick shift. You have to go, okay, physical body now, spiritual body now, emotional body now. You start to get in tune with what's being asked of you in any given moment, right? So we can't generalize it. Like, it's not about always setting boundaries. It's not about that. It's about who are you doing it with? What is being presented in that moment, where you need to either soften your heart or maybe you need to be a little more firm. It really is like case to case.
Yeah.
All right.
That is amazing.
Thank you so much for connecting today.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you,
Take care.
everybody. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.